Hello and welcome to the Motoring News Zone, the show where we take you through all the biggest stories in the world of cars right now. This week we react to the Ford versus Ferrari rivalry returning to Le Mans, Aston Martin's Valkyrie WEC car has been revealed, and both the used and the new car markets have made a strong start to 2025 here in the UK. All that and a whole lot more is coming up in today's show. Let's dive in. We've got a new car launch, guys. Aston Martin's Valkyrie hypercar program has revealed what this car is going to look like on the track front, and also the IMSA racing series over in the United States as well. So we've got a full gallery of images here on the motoringchronicle.com. So I'll show you these pictures while I talk about just how amazing of a vehicle this is. There is a full article on the motoringchronicle.com. Here's a nice little gallery of images of this beautiful machine here for you while I read out some quotes and some stats and everything for it. So, Aston Martin begins a thrilling new chapter in its illustrious competition history with the reveal of its Valkyrie hypercar, a pure racer bred from the road that will return to the British ultra-luxury performance car brand to the pinnacle of endurance motorsport and allow it to bid for overall victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Not only is this competitor derived from the road legal hypercar, the Valkyrie is the first big racing car to build to the FIA's hypercar regulations that will contest both the FIA World Championship and the US-based IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. It will make its world competition debut when the Works Aston Martin Thor team, yes, that's their actual name, Thor, versus two Valkyries in the opening round of the 2025 WEC at the Qatar 1,812 kilometers on the 28th of February. Adrian Hallmark, the Chief Executive Officer of Aston Martin Lagonda, said, "This is a proud moment for Aston Martin. To be returning to the fight, overall honours for the 24 Hours of Le Mans exists at the very core of our values and marks a key milestone in our motor racing heritage. As the only hypercar born from the road to challenge at the top of the sports car racing in both the WEC and IMSA championships, the Valkyrie is an embodiment of our enduring sporting ethos, one that has defined the brand for more than a century." Of course, basically what he's saying there is that these cars are actually derived from road cars. They're not specifically designed for WEC or IMSA, which makes it quite unique. It's more relevant to the average consumer, basically. It's seeing what is effectively a souped-up version of your road car, if you're lucky enough to own one, out on the track and potentially winning them on 24 Hours. Harry Ticknell, Aston Martin's most recent British 24 Hours of Le Mans class winner, will be joined by countryman and rising endurance star Tom Gamble in the 007, yes, as in James Bond 007, Valkyrie for the full WEC season, while the sister 009 car will be driven by triple FIA World Champion Marco Sorensen and WEC LMGT3 class race winner Alex Riberas. In IMSA, 2024 IMSA GTD Pro Championship contender Ross Gurron and 2022 GTD class champion Roman De Angelis will drive the single-seater Aston Martin Thor Team 23 entering the GTP class. Both Gunn and De Angelis will also join the WEC contenders to complete the three-driver lineup at Le Mans. Gunn will drive the 007 Valkyrie with Ticknell and Gamble to complete an all-British partnership for the race between the 14th and 15th of June this year. The factory Valkyrie racing campaign is masterminded in both WEC and IMSA by the heart of racing, Thor, which has previously run Aston Martin's Vantage GT3 in both series. For anybody that's been involved in sports car racing, to be running a car at the Premier class with Aston Martin, and a car which is widely accepted as one of the most beautiful in the world, I'd say that is very much earned. Given the pictures you'll be seeing right now, I think you probably agree with that. "It's a real honour," said team principal Ian James. "To be entrusted with this program is most definitely a career highlight." Expectations for the dual Valkyrie race program match high ambition with the reality of competing against seasoned rivals. "Of course, we only do it because we want to win," says Carter. "However, we respect the challenge of the events and the competition. They are at a high level, and that's why we want to compete against them. Fundamentally, it is only worth winning if it's against strong competition. We acknowledge that we will be joining them, and we are already established. It's a great time to be joining the pinnacle of sports car racing. The ACO, IMSA, and the FIA collectively created championships of growing popularity through working collaboratively. We are fully supportive of this process. They have done a great job of establishing the format and promoting the series to make this golden era of sports car racing. It's an opportunity to compete on the global stage in a fair and competitive environment. The WEC season is made up of 8 rounds following the season opener in Qatar. The championship includes European races at Imola and Spa-Francorchamps, and of course the 24 Hours of Le Mans in June. Then they go to Interlagos in Brazil, the Circuit of the Americas in Texas, Fuji in Japan, and the finale in Bahrain on the 8th of November. The IMSA schedule is made up of 11 rounds, including the Sebring 12 Hours, the Petite Le Mans at Road Atlanta, plus other major US venues such as Long Beach, Laguna Seca, both in California, Watkins Glen in New York State, and Indianapolis in Indiana. So yeah, guys, there you have it. I mean, there's a full article, like I said, on the motoringchronicle.com. You may well be reading this article while this video is, of course, playing as well. So thank you if you've already been there. If you haven't, go over and head there. Some very lovely quotes there, really, from the organization that I don't have time to read out in this video. But yeah, I hope that gives you a good picture, and I've literally, hopefully, given you some good pictures to watch while this video has been on too. But yeah, for much more racing and car news, to keep it tuned here to themotoringchronicle.com. So, Ford versus Ferrari, or Le Mans 1966, whatever you know that film as, it was a lot of fun to watch that. I really enjoyed watching that. Matt Damon and Christian Bale producing some fantastic performances, they so often do in Hollywood blockbusters. Now, of course, this does reference the 1966 Le Mans, which is probably the most famous Le Mans race of all time, especially to the casual viewer, because of the incredible rivalry and all of the things behind the scenes when it comes to Ford against Ferrari, hence the name. Now, Ferrari went back to the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the top class of the hypercar program, obviously renamed from LMP1 previously, and they've done very well. They actually won Le Mans last year in 2024, which the same year they actually managed to win the Monaco Grand Prix, and the first time they've done that, like when they won both of them in the same year since the 50s, I think. I saw it, it's been a very long time anyway. Now, of course, Ford haven't been in Le Mans in some time, but they're back, or they're going to be back very soon in 2027. So, World Endurance Championship is in a very healthy place at the moment. It's something I actually discussed with former Le Mans winner Mark Blundell as well a while ago over on, I think it was this channel on the motoringchronicle.com. We had a few videos go out on F1 and on motoring, but I believe I put that clip on this channel. Anyway, let's go through this, guys. Really encouraging stuff. Full article here on Le Mans' 24 website itself. I'm just going to read this out as usual and give my thoughts at the end of the video. But yeah, really good stuff here to see in a couple years' time. Ford has confirmed its hypercar entry for the FIA World Endurance Championship from 2027 onwards. The US car maker is bent on a remake of its glorious past at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Under the Ford Performance banner, the top class entry comes with a will to win the race outright. I mean, you'd like to think so, but I know what they mean because there's different classes, but you'd like to think they want to come back and win. Ford reigned supreme at Le Mans between 1966 and 1969. Nice. Since that streak, the Dearborn brand has contented itself with class wins. First in 2006 with the Ford GT in LMGT Pro, and more recently with the Ford Mustang in GT3. Bill Ford, Ford Motor Company Executive Chair, makes his company's ambitions clear. We are entering a new era for performance and racing at Ford. You can see it from what we're doing on road and off-road. When we race to win, and there is no track or race that means more to our history than Le Mans. It is where we took on Ferrari and won in the 1960s. It is where we returned 50 years later and shocked the world and beat Ferrari again. I am thrilled that we are going back to Le Mans and competing at the highest level of endurance racing. We are ready to once again challenge the world and go like hell. Hell yeah, man. So 10 hypercar manufacturers in 2027. Like I said, you know, endurance racing right now is in a very healthy place. I mean, Ford's return adds even even more spice to the already delectable. Oh, nice word there. Delectable. Tasty. FIA DC Field. Alpine, Aston Martin, BMW, Cadillac, Ford, Peugeot, Porsche, and Toyota are already on the hypercar grid to be joined by Genesis in 2027. Ford has been synonymous with success both on and off track for decades, said FIA chief Frederic Lecquien? Anyway. Fred, we are delighted that the company has chosen the FIA World Endurance Championship for its latest challenge. To have at least 10 major automotive brands committed to the series as top tier in 2027 is testament to the championship's stellar momentum and growth. Pierre Fillon, president of the Automobile de l'Ouest, stressed the historic element behind the announcement. It is wonderful news to welcome Ford back to the top level of the 24 Hours of Le Mans for the first time in almost 60 years. It is a brand that has always had a close affinity with a very special race, and history shows that Ford does not compete to finish second. The renewal of this famous rivalry Ferrari is a truly exciting prospect. Indeed, it is. It absolutely is. And as I record this, the sun is slowly shining on half of my face just to make a pretty cool image there. Yeah. Two-faced right now. One half in the shadow, one half in the light. But yeah, honestly, I am so happy to see this. This is one of them things that you look at and you think, no way, really? And they are. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. It's not for a few years yet. Obviously, they have competed in the lower category, but this is the outright win, the creme de la creme, the big kahuna itself, the 24-hour Le Mans trophy. So who's going to win, guys? Ferrari looking good. Can they win back-to-back this year? Get some momentum ahead of their old American rivals wanting to come back and beat them again at Le Mans on their turf, as it were, almost at that point. Thoughts in the comments below, guys, of course, as always. So we brought you the news recently on the motoringchronicle.com that the new car market in the UK is actually doing quite well at the moment. And when it comes to the used car markets, the prices of these are stable. They have relatively stagnated, which is a good thing for the consumer, of course. And this is a record start to 2025 for the sector as well. Let's find out exactly why that is. Full article here on the motoringchronicle.com. According to the latest data from Auto Trader, the used car market has begun the new year on firm footing despite concerns about the economy, with cars selling at a record pace, engagement on Auto Trader accelerating to seasonal highs, and retail prices continuing to stabilize. Based on over 800,000 daily observations across the whole retail market, Auto Trader's retail price index reveals the average retail price of a used car, £16,774, was flat in January on a month-on-month and like-for-like basis, a contrast to the -1.9 recorded last year in January 24. And with trade values recently trending above retail, it's likely prices will strengthen further over the coming months as the market adjusts accordingly. Cars leave forecourts at record pace as Auto Trader sees record January audience. Stability in retail prices is the result of the ongoing post-COVID squeeze in the used car supply, which is down 3.1% year on year in January, coupled with a buoyant level of customer demand, as reflected in the around 87.1 million cross-platform visits to Auto Trader over the past month. That audience level not only marks a whopping 24.8% increase on December, which was at 69.7 million, nice, but the highest number of visits in January ever recorded for the website. It also follows the very strong levels of engagement seen throughout 24, which totaled around nearly 1 billion visits to the site, which was a rise of 7% year on year, that exact number being 978 million. The combination of robust demand and in many cases the unnecessary underpricing of stock is resulting in used car sales selling at a record pace. In fact, it took an average of just 38 days for a used car to sell in January, which is 3 days faster than the same time last year at 41 days. It's also the fastest start to the year since Auto Trader's records began in 2019. With such healthy levels of consumer appetite in the market, the rapid turnaround of stock will be at the potential expense of margin opportunity. Indeed, Auto Trader's data shows that around 61,000 high-demand used cars are currently being priced below their true market value, resulting in over £24 million in potential margin being missed, which is around the equivalent of £3,000 per retailer. Car buying confidence remains high despite the economic concerns. According to Auto Trader's retail data, demand is translating into sales, albeit after a slow restart following the end of the festive period that combined with a mix of floods and snow disruption. Sales performance quickly improved over the course of the month, though with the final weeks of January recording a strong increase over the same period last year. As a result, sales in January overall were relatively flat at -1% year on year. This solid performance contrasts with recent uncertainty around the economy here in the UK, as reflected in the steeper than expected fall in official consumer confidence levels in January. Although there are potential risks around inflation and unemployment this year as the Chancellor's budget is implemented from April, as well as growing tariff rhetoric from President Trump over the United States, there is cause for optimism for the coming months ahead, with consumer spending and real incomes forecasted to rise in 25. But importantly, despite the more challenging wider economic background, the demand and car buying confidence remain largely unaffected, with Auto Trader's data revealing stable levels of consumers' confidence in affording their next car purchase. Indeed, in a study of 3,700 in-market car buyers searching on Auto Trader, which was conducted in December, 57% agreed they were much more confident or a bit more confident in their ability to pay for their car when they purchase a new one. 35% said about the same, and this is up from 47% 12 months earlier. What's more, almost 3/4 of consumers are still looking to purchase a car in the next 6 months, which is consistent with the same time as last year. As such, Auto Trader's 2025 outlook remains positive, predicting the used car market to maintain the strong growth momentum of the last 2 years and rise from around 7.6 million sales last year to around 7.7 this year. And there's a little quote there from somebody from Auto Trader at the bottom as well. So if you haven't checked out the article, please do. You might well be watching this inside the article itself nowadays. So yeah, let us know, guys, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with the findings of those that survey and that data on Auto Trader? Thoughts in the comments below. So the new car market has had a good start to the 2025. According to this article here on the motoringchronicle.com. Let's dive in, guys. Let's have a look at the stats and see how the UK's new car market is performing. Full article on the motoringchronicle.com as always. 2025 has got off to a promising start for the new car market, with Auto Trader reporting a positive increase in consumer interest for new cars in January. According to its data, demand on its platform has not only risen following the traditional season slowdown, but with visits to its new car platform increasing by 19% month on month, but are up a solid 8% on the same period last year. Despite taking the title as 2024's hottest new car overall, the Volkswagen Golf will have to be contending with second place this month. It was overtaken by the Land Rover Range Rover, which tops January's list of most in-demand new cars with a 4.8% share of all new car inquiries sent to retailers on Auto Trader versus the 3.4%. Interesting. I knew that Land Rover were doing really well, and that really shows it. The most searched car. That's not too bad at all. And not content with first place, the top three is rounded off by another legendary Land Rover, the popular Defender, which received a 3.1% share. Models aside, there's no change at the top of the leaderboard of most popular new car brands, as BMW a 14.6% share of inquiries, Land Rover at 13.6% and Volkswagen at 7% all have maintained their position in the top three, albeit only just in the case of VW. It was nearly pipped to the post by its fellow German rival Audi at 6.8%. But MG leads the way on electric, but Mini moves up in the rankings. Looking at the data at a more granular level, it also reveals a positive start to the year for brand new electric vehicles, EVs, which we know very well here on the motoringchronicle.com, with the share of inquiries rising from 3.8 percentage points on the same period last year. from 14.1 to 17.9%. It continues the robust EV demand seen on Auto Trader since September, which has been helped by the increase of incentives offered by manufacturers to stimulate demand and meet the ZEV mandate targets. Those incentives are rather unsustainable, and that's a very controversial issue, of course, the ZEV mandate, which I've spoken at length about here on the motoringchronicle.com. So check out my videos on that as well if you haven't already. That is a whole rabbit hole for sure. The average discount applied to new electric cars in January has fallen slightly though, from 12% in December to 11.5%. However, with ZEV mandate targets accelerating to 28% this year, it's unlikely this will be a long-term trend. Of course, this is potentially going to change. They are in discussions apparently to change those targets to make them more in line with a realistic forecast, although that has yet to be confirmed by anybody at the time of recording. Discounts on new cars are more broadly softened, down from 9.3 to an average of 8.8 this month. MG, the British badged Chinese marquee, is once again the most popular electric brand on Auto Trader this month, generating nearly 1 in 5, 17.1% of all brand new electric car inquiries sent to retailers. It was followed by BMW with a respectable 10.9. In third place is Mini, a British badged German marquee, which has recorded a notable rise in the charts over the last 12 months, climbing from a share of 1.4 to 8.2%. That's over 4 times, way over 4 times. Well done. On a more immediate scale, Skoda and Kia saw demand for their electric models rise at the fastest rate, with both brands recording a 2.7 percentage point increase in EV market share between December and January, climbing from a share of 2.4 and 5.3 respectively. And just the last thing I'm going to read out here, Kia's EV3 closes in on the MG4 as the UK's most popular new electric car. The most popular full electric car on Auto Trader is still MG's MG4, which I believe I drove as a courtesy car. It's definitely an MG EV, which is generating almost 1 in 10, 9.5% of all new EV inquiries in January. Whilst it was the UK's most in-demand new car in 2024, its position could be under threat from Kia's EV3, which has shot up the rankings into second place. The all-new Korean SUV has generated 4.4% share of inquiries this month, which was a year-on-year percentage point increase of 2.2%, a doubling of its market share in just over a month. And of course, they put all the screws and bolts in that car, no doubt. Again, if you don't know what I'm referencing there, go check out my video on Kia's embarrassing mistake when it comes to one of their new cars. But yeah, just a quote there from someone from Auto Trader and some stats there for you guys, of course, as well, when it comes to some Auto Trader inquiries and leads. Full article on motoringchronicle.com. As always, guys, if you want to go more in depth with them, you can do that over there. And the link to the article will, of course, be in the description of this video if you're on YouTube. If you're on Microsoft, you may be seeing this video actually embedded in the article, of course, but if you're not, go over to the motoringchronicle.com's website. Yeah, have a little search around there, see what you can find. We've got plenty of information when it comes to all things motoring and quite a few things motorsport as well. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hope you're having a great week so far. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Very much do appreciate all this. So the AGTZ twin-tail client has been unveiled at the Retromobile 2025. Now you might be wondering, what is this? Why is this such an exciting thing? Well, there's a full article over on the motoringchronicle.com, but there's also a complete photo gallery on there as well. So I'm going to show you some images of this amazing car and read out the article and show you why this is a very exciting thing indeed. So let's dive into it, guys. Let's have a look at some beautiful pictures of a beautiful car here. 1 year after the announcement of the project jointly developed by car collector dealer La Squadra and Aletia Zagato, the pair is bringing its first car into production, guys, to the world-renowned Retromobile exhibition in Paris, France. The bespoke configuration of this AGTZ twin-tail was developed in partnership with the client, who drew inspiration from the late 1960s racing legend, the iconic A220. The AGTZ twin-tail was born out of the need to tell the dramatic story of the A220, a racing icon of the late 1960s that, in a visionary move by its creators, shed its long, aerodynamically shaped tail, originally designed for the high-speed straights of the 24 Hours of Le Mans race, in favour of a compact, agile form. The decision was radical but ingenious. The French car went on to achieve historic success in its new specialisation, which was hill climbing. More than half a century later, this legend remains an enduring source of inspiration for collector car La Squadra and the renowned design studio Atelier Zagato. Their joint efforts have resulted in the AGTZ Twintail, a contemporary tribute to the A220, telling its story through a unique design feature, a removable rear body section. The driver can effortlessly switch between the long tail or the short tail configurations in a matter of minutes and use the removed tail as a piece of functional art that can be displayed in a garage. This collector's car, a rolling sculpture, is built around the underpinnings of the A220 spiritual successor, the currently produced A110. Each twin tail will be handcrafted after Atelier Zagato, one of the world's most respected coach builders operating in Milan, Italy, uninterruptedly since 1919. Production is strictly limited to just 19 units in total, and the first one in the series, the Commission number 3, has now left the legendary workshop. Each of the 19 twin-tail units will be uniquely tailored as a result of extensive customization process fostered through personal dialogue and visits to the car's construction site after Atelier Zagato. The contribution of the patrons to the creativity and value of the twin-tail project is clearly exemplified in the first completed client car. Commission number 3 is an owner's personal take on the original A220 story. It refers to one of the later cars built over the 2-year period, chassis number 1736, which was completed in 1969. Nice. Updated with an aerodynamically sculpted nose, prominent radiators mounted into the massive tail, and mechanical refinements, it showed some promising performance during the 24 Hours of Le Mans test, however retired prematurely from the race due to technical issues. Today, the twin-tail Commission number 3 revives this story on French soil at the 2025 Retromobile show, with a striking livery reminiscent of the 1969 24 Hours of Le Mans race and a host of bespoke details, including wheels designed specifically for this commission. Commission number 3's specification brings back the spirit of the golden era of racing in a faithful yet overly progressive manner. Celebrating its 49th edition this year, Retromobile is one of the world's premier classic and car collector exhibitions. The global debut of the first AGTZ twin-tail client car at this event underscores the project's leading position in the high-end automotive segment and further establishes La Squadra's strong presence on the international stage. Meanwhile, work at Zagato continues at full pace. The next twin-tail commissions are already in progress and set to be unveiled very soon. With production capped at just 19 units overall, the order to book is filling up quickly, with only a few remaining slots still available. So, if you've got the money, why not? It looks absolutely beautiful, as you've just seen with the images on the screen for the last few minutes. And yeah, what do you think about this, guys? Let us know in the comments below. And for much more motoring news just like this, keep it tuned here to themotoringchronicle.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, and we'll see you very soon for some more video content on the world of cars right here. Have a good one, guys. See you soon.